Gwyndolin the Silent is not only a kick-ass owl, she's sort of free right now in Raid Shadow Legends. Finally, he sleeps here. We're going to take a look at Gwyndolin the Silent, the new legendary available in Raid Shadow Legends as part of the Deck of Fate event. First, though, make sure you subscribe here at YouTube so you never miss when one of these Raid Shadow Legends videos goes live on my new channel here, where we do nothing but talk about Raid. Okay, so the Deck of Fate event, this is one of those flip over card memory type looking things. There are 8 rows of 5. Is that right? 8 columns of 5 or 5 rows of 8, whatever. There's 40 freaking cards. That's 40,000 of these little fake cookies to be able to claim. And if you've ever done one of these events before, it's like, okay, are you going to have to flip over all 40 cookies to be able to claim it? And yes, you're going to have to flip over all 40 cookies to be able to claim. It doesn't work any other way. If you've ever done one of these before, unless you're getting lucky at like 37 cards, you pretty much just plan on having to flip them all over. There are a lot of rewards as you flip them over that makes it kind of worth it, but it's those 100 fragments towards Gwyndolin that everybody's going to want. You also, if you flip over 3 of a like kind, there are some decent rewards here in the chest that you can claim depending upon what color, what rarity of the cards you're flipping over. But the way to earn these is what's important. You're either gaining them through opening artifacts and accessories in dungeons and campaign. And let's say you're farming Spider 20, which takes 16 energy per run. And let's say you're averaging, it's most likely it's going to be in the 13 to 15 range in points at that level. Let's just go on the high side and say you're getting an average of 16 points. Every single one is a 5-star legendary. This just for sake of argument. So that's 1-to-1. You need 40,000 points. That's 40,000 energy. That's an insane amount of energy, not to mention time and auto battles and everything. The other way to do this, though, is through the summoning of shards. You get 2,000 points per sacred. So it's kind of 20 sacreds. You're earning champions as you're going towards it. And if you have 20 sacreds saved up, it's a guaranteed Lego at 20 sacreds. I mean, depending upon where your mercy's at and how many sacreds you have saved up, it's not a bad deal for 20 sacreds and then a guaranteed legendary champion after the 20th sacred. That, if you look at it that way, it kind of makes sense if you've been saving and hoarding. But that's not really the way most people are going to do this. They're going to kind of mix and match between all of their shards and they're diving in the dungeon as well. But there's also one other way. You can just buy the cookies with gems. And at 1,200 gems for 2,000 cookies, that's 24,000 gems to be able to claim a legendary for free, depending upon how many gems you've saved up. Using all 3 of those methods to come up with it, it may be worth it. I mean, if we're that excited about fusion champs each month, and you consider this just another fusion champ, then going all in on her over a 3-day period might be worth it for you. She does have a kick-ass kit. She's an attack-based champion. She hits an enemy 3 times on her A1, and it has a 30% chance to extend the duration of all debuffs on that target by 1 turn. A2, she attacks all enemies, 75% chance of placing decreased speed and leech for 2 turns, and then places a 50% decreased accuracy debuff on enemies under 2 or more debuffs for 2 turns. And it looks like that one can't be resisted, because there's no chance function that sets it up. As long as they have 2 or more debuffs coming in, there's a 50% decrease accuracy coming in, which is going to help in a lot of different areas within the game. A3, her plume dart attacks all enemies before attacking, places a 50% increase accuracy on all allies for 2 turns, 75% chance of stealing all block debuffs buffs from all enemies. So I can immediately see some utility in that, especially during like arena. If at least 1 block debuffs buff was stolen from the enemy, places a block debuffs buff on all allies for 1 turn. And then her passive, this is the big one, because she is an attack-based champion. This champion's crit damage increases by 1% for every 10 points of accuracy they have. Grants an extra turn after this champion uses any 3 skills. So if you come in with 300 accuracy on this, which is an easily achievable amount with crit rate and crit damage, so that would be 300 would relate to 30 additional crit damage. If you bump her up to, let's say, 500, that's another 50 crit damage that are coming in on her on top of everything else that she's doing. So with her AoE attacks, she's gonna hit pretty hard. So we've seen some fusion champs that have been kind of like meh lately, and this one seems to be a little on the high side compared to what we've had. I can see more utility for her in the game right now than we have in the last couple of fusions. So is this one worth going in on? If you have the shards or the gems, or you're just unbelievably flush with energy, this may be a better option over a 3-day period than saving and going for the January fusion whenever it releases. Completely up to you. Definitely worth checking out though. It ends in a couple of days, coming into the new year. Very excited about this. Gwyndolin the Silent, well worth checking out. I'm FinallyHeSleeps. As long as you guys keep showing up, I'll keep making videos. Thanks for watching. If you haven't noticed, my YouTube channel has expanded. Subscribe here for Raid Shadow Legends content, but make sure you check out my other channels as well for EA Sports FC, everything automotive over at Gearheads, and visit Cringeworthy for a few laughs. Subscribe links are right over there.